I'm Ivan Ivanov, and you are with UFO Disclosure Bulgaria. You can watch us in YouTube or in our Facebook, UFO Disclosure Bulgaria. Um, Tonight in this episode, my special guest will be um, Paul Hynek. He's the youngest son of Dr. Alan Hynek. We're going to talk about basically about the Project Blue Book and that TV show we had a chance to watch on the TV, the 2 seasons of Project Blue Book. Um, I want to thank you for Paul Harris because she made that connection with Paul Hynek. And also, Paula and Paul, they one of our speakers in the International UFO Conference in Bulgaria by September 2021. And if you want to meet them in life, you are very welcome to visit this conference in Sofia, Bulgaria, or you can watch this by. We'll see how that will be done, but will be online also, streaming, probably by YouTube or maybe by another media, another internet media. Yeah. So tonight in this episode, I'm going to talk with Paul about his dad, Dr. Alan Hynek. You know that he was an astrophysicist, and also in the beginning when he was invited to with this project of the military project Blue Book, he was very skeptical about the UFO, and this time they call UFO flying saucer. So anyway, he participated that opportunity to make research, to investigate all these cases all over the country of the United States. And later on, when he that project Blue Book was closed, he was convinced of existence of the UFOs. During this research or investigation, he classified the encounters with the UFO with 3 different kinds. The first kind, when we see the UFO in the sky. Second kind, encounter of the second kind, when we see the face by face with these passengers in UFOs, and then the third kind, when the UFO is landing in the ground. So when he left, actually when Project Blue Book was closed, he continued doing these researching, and he done a lot. He worked with Jacques Vallée, Dr. Jacques Vallée also, for many years after when Project Blue Book was closed. And actually there's a theory that probably these UFOs, they're not extraterrestrials, or maybe some of them are extraterrestrials, but most of them they're coming from another dimensions. I would like to invite you to subscribe to UFO Disclosure Bulgaria in YouTube, and of course you're very welcome to share with your friends the channel, and because actually this project UFO Disclosure Bulgaria, I created because I would like to share with people from the world, not only with Bulgarians, but the people with the world, the true stories, to meet these people with people who is who are dealing with this phenomena, people who knows about this phenomena, people who are not fake. Hello, Paul Hynek. I'm Super excited to see you, to meet you. Actually, I'm thinking about you long time ago before Paula to tell me about you. But because I have too much suspicious about in myself for people like you, I'll say, "Oh, he's very famous. Maybe he don't want to talk with me." Same thing was with with Stanton Friedman when I met him for first time and talked with him and took interview with him. But actually, maybe this is my weakness to have something crazy thoughts. But anyway, we're very happy to welcome you in UFO Disclosure Bulgaria. I create this website. I mean, not website, this group in the Facebook and also in YouTube. We have a YouTube channel, UFO Disclosure Bulgaria, and my goal is to present it in this medias. People who is not fake, people who really have something to share with the general public. You're the youngest son of Dr. Paul Hynek.
Yes, and pleasure to talk with you. And any friend of Paola's is a friend of mine, Ivan.
Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, I watch all these 2 seasons, Project Blue Book, and I was very excited. And actually, some of these cases, which was shown over there in this show, I already knew about these cases.
Oh, okay, good.
I got information about this. I have many connections in the United States with people who was involved with that phenomena, UFO, or not only phenomena with UFO. So you was the part of this Project Blue Book in the show.
Yes, my brother Joel and I were consultants.
Yeah.
And we read all the scripts and gave input. I visited the set many times, did publicity with the cast, and had a cameo role in one of the episodes.
Mm-hmm. You was, I mean, of course, you know, you was very close with your dad, Dr. Paul Hynek. Do you know if what he done about this Project Blue Book is was shown correctly in the movie, in the show?
It's a good question, Ivan. I would say that the show did not attempt to be accurate, but rather to be authentic. So not all of the details are correct. Some of the things they made up, some of the characters they combined, like the Captain Quinn, played by Michael Malarkey, is really an amalgamation of different Air Force directors of Project Blue Book. But what the show sought to do was to sort of get a sense of who my father and my mother were and portray them, the sort of kernels or the core of their authentic characters in somewhat dramatized scenarios.
Do you think this character, the actor who played the role of your dad, was very close to the real Dr. Paul Hynek?
Yes, Aidan Gillen is a fantastic actor, and we talked quite a lot about my dad. And he felt his job, as the same with Laura Minnell, who played TV Mom, was to just get an essence of who they really were and then add their own interpretation on that. And I'll say it wasn't super creepy at all to have the super villain from Game of Thrones play my TV father.
Mm-hmm. So when your dad was involved with this project, he was like about 13 years old, or?
Well, Project Blue Book ended officially in 1969, and I was 7 years old then.
Okay, so you have very clear memory for maybe your dad shared something with the family, or he.
Yeah, and with my older siblings as well. There are 5 children,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, we remember those days quite clearly.
Did he share something with you, or about his work, or he keep it aside?
Yeah, he shared. He didn't feel that there were secrets to, at least that I know of, to hide from us. He found the work very interesting, and as a child, how could you not find a father who's going around the world investigating UFOs interesting? Whatever you think about it, it's certainly interesting. So he would tell us all about them, and also, you know, he didn't consider himself a UFO guy per se. He was a scientist. He was an
Yeah,
astronomer,
right.
and his side hustle, part-time job was UFOs. Now that became more and more important, but what was most important for him, I think, to convey to us was the notion of a scientific attitude towards the world, of being curious and healthily skeptical and open-minded, and trying to expand the boundaries of knowledge and truth. And part of that was UFOs, which, you know, took up residence on the very fringes of accepted science.
Hmm. So when this project over or was closed, he took a lot of, I mean, not took the documents about all this his work, but he continued working in this way, right?
Yes. And, you know, in the latter years of Project Blue Book, it was a very frustrating experience for him because it was clear that this was a public relations exercise, not looking to be a legitimate scientific investigation. And he was criticized by some, and he wondered, should he stay there and sort of de facto add legitimacy by being involved with it to the operation. And he decided that it was important for him to stay involved so that he could help influence, not control, but influence what cases might be investigated and how they're investigated to some degree. And then later he would have access to the data, which is what happened.
Hmm. So in the beginning, he was very skeptical with this. Probably he said, "What is this foolishness UFO? I mean, I'm an astronomer, I'm scientist," and then he was convinced.
Yeah, he certainly was. You know, that was back in like 1948, 1949. And as a rocket scientist and astronomer, yes, I mean, they were called flying saucers back then in English. And yeah, he didn't think there was anything to it. So I really don't think that when the Air Force asked him to investigate them, that one of his children would be talking to you 50 some years later about his work with that. I think he thought, okay, this will take 3 or 4 hours on a Saturday afternoon, right? I think he had no idea that it would become the latter part of his career.
Did he investigate some cases when officially this project was closed?
Oh yes, he stayed very active after Project Blue Book.
He was
Absolutely.
probably he was connected with this group in these early years. The group of people who doing this private um, believers or something like this. In the movie, in the show, your mom, she was enjoying this group during, is that was real or not with science fiction?
Well, I mean, there are groups like there was MUFON, there was APRO and NICAP, and my father and mother started the Center for UFO Studies as well. So there are private, you know, groups, citizen groups that study UFOs. Absolutely.
Mhm. So he continued working with these groups when that project officially was closed.
Oh yeah, yes.
Do you remember some specific cases, something exciting?
Many, yeah, many of them. You know, Charlie Hickson and Calvin Parker in Pascagoula, Travis Walton, Father Gill in Papua New Guinea. Just many very solid cases that seem to have, like, especially with Pascagoula, there's more and more evidence that keeps coming forward over the years to make the case even more solid.
Mhm. So he investigated Travis Walton case also?
Yes, yes.
That's very
And Travis Walton came to our house for dinner.
That's very interesting because I met with Travis. We talked for his experience from different angle, not like everybody talking, oh, they took him, they tortured him, they did something bad to him. And actually, with my conversation with Travis, I learned that actually he was saved. He was taken to be saved because he was, maybe he was dead when he was very close to this craft. So did your dad mention something that maybe some of this craft was made from humans and some of them they coming from some extraterrestrials or another dimensions?
Yeah, the UFO phenomena is very mysterious. And, but my father and Jacques Vallée and others came to feel that the totality of the experience was likely not explained only by extraterrestrial origin. That, let's say that we had a magic wand and say, what is the answer to UFOs? Well, part of it might be extraterrestrial, and yet there are challenges with that. But certainly a meta-terrestrial component of the phenomena is what my father and Jacques Vallée and others started to think might be possible. Like you said, interdimensional.
Yeah.
Extraterrestrial, I have a problem with. How would they even find us? The universe is a very, very big place. My father would use the analogy that the earth is like a grain of sand in Kansas, and the universe is the United States. How would they find us? If they find us, why would they care? I don't think we're anything special. And if they came all that way, why would they have these mysterious nighttime encounters and then go away? Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So the notion of some type of interdimensional being seems to resonate more with me for some of the more bizarre aspects of reports of sightings and how they know about us and why they would care.
Maybe we have some conscious connection with this.
Yeah, and it's certainly possible that part of the phenomena could be explained by some kind of conscious or unconscious manifestation of our collective species.
Exactly. Yeah. And especially after when the nuclear bomb was exploded, that was a sign for them, I believe, because according to Dr. Stephen Greer, he said once, I met him personally also. He said that was a sign for all these creatures in the universe about us. So since then, so I mean, we've been visited long time ago, maybe from centuries, maybe 17th, 16th, 15th century, because of all these pictures we see, strange objects which looks like UFOs
Right.
in the these guys from India, um, Vedas. They have knowledge uh, about this how they call Vimana, Vimana, this thing which with light, bright.
Yes. Right.
So we have a lot of evidence from the ancient times. I mean, Peru, they have a lot of. A friend of me, she said, we have I mean, all these signs. They when they visit us in the past, they leave a signs for us, and this sign there's pictures in ceramic or
Yeah.
pictures
Right.
in the rocks.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, the statues in the Easter Island. I mean, this is amazing. There's a lot of mysteries, and we maybe we can find the answer of all our questions only when we develop our conscious and our spirituality. I think.
Entirely possible. Um, yeah. I think you said it very well.
Have you had any encounters? And be honest.
So I will say no, but maybe.
Uh-huh.
I have not, nor have any of my siblings had what we would consider to be a bona fide sighting of a UFO, nor have we been abducted. But the maybe part is that I've become very interested in the interdimensional hypothesis
Mm-hmm.
and have done a form of research in that area and perhaps made contact that way.
Okay, that's very interesting. Can you share more about this or?
Yeah, sure. Happy to. So, um, I was talking with a friend about a year ago who knew about my father and asked me, where did your father think UFOs came from? And I said, well, it's hard to say, but perhaps interdimensional. And he said, you should read a book called Alien Information Theory. And I said, well, I love the book already just from the title, Alien Information Theory. And so I read the book, and it is about the psychedelic drug called DMT, which is a variant of ayahuasca. And it's got, it puts forth a theory that the growing body of user reports of people who take DMT and feel that they experienced another intelligence may in fact be real as opposed to psychedelic hallucinations. So I've done DMT in the interest of science, Ivan, and in my first encounter, my perceived encounter with this intelligence, I asked, "Are you what we perceive to be UFOs and aliens?" And an answer came to me, and the answer was, "We cannot explain in a way that you would understand."
Understand that.
Right? And I understand no, so I think there's yes. Now, again, I was under the influence of a powerful drug, so I cannot say this was real, but it certainly felt real. And in reading like Rick Strassman's book, The Spirit Molecule, I see some interesting parallels in the growing amount of user reports of people who take DMT and the early days of reports of UFOs. So I find that very interesting and worthy of more research.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And also, I'm open also in this way. I mean, not only for UFOs or something like this, something happening, something watching us from another dimension, and they interacting with us by a different way. And I'll tell you very short my experience with this. I talk about this with Paul and other people. Last year, I went to Starbucks with my laptop. I want to do something over there, and I bought a cup of coffee.
You saw an alien in Starbucks?
No, no, no. You now see. So I bought a cup of coffee, spring water from Italy, and cookies. And I brought all this thing to my table in the Starbucks. Opened my laptop. I was ready to start doing my work, and then I decided to drink water, and the bottle of water not was anymore in my table. Gone. Because I'm very suspicious, I start looking for this water around. Maybe I drop it in the floor. I check the whole floor in the coffee, no water. And I said, maybe I thinking to buy water, but probably I haven't bought water. So I back to this lady and I asked her, because in the coffee in that time was me and maybe three more people. There was in another table, I mean, away from me. And she confirmed. She said, "Yeah, you got coffee, water, and cookies." And I said, "Okay, but where's my water?" So I talked with another people about this phenomenon, and this man told me, he's very good, my friend from Utah. He said probably they interacting with you and they try to catch your attention with that small phenomenon. I mean, that is not small; it's huge. And you might want to disappear. Anyway, yeah, that is very interesting, and maybe actually, I don't want to talk too much. I invite you. I mean, you're my guest, and I would like to hear more from you.
Okay, and I promise I did not take your water.
Okay. Finally, I said, "All right, maybe somebody's thirsty. That's why I took my water. It's okay." And I bought another bottle of water, but that water was with me. So during this researching of you that, did he brought in your home some artifacts from craft or something?
Well, one item that comes to mind was this very large metal sphere about this, like this big around. Um, and we would play with it in the basement. And later I learned of something called the Betz sphere, which is a well-known artifact from a case in Florida. And apparently my father took possession of the Betz sphere. Um, but I don't know if what we saw, this big shiny metal ball, was that Betz sphere or not. Um, but I don't remember other artifacts or alleged pieces of flying saucers. No.
Do you know if that sphere has some intelligence?
Uh, I I didn't notice anything uh, odd about it.
So just
I was not thinking about that, but yeah, I didn't notice it exhibiting any type of intelligence. No.
okay, because I heard about something like this. Um, Linda Moulton Howe talked about one of her investigation of sphere like this. She found it in the family. I don't remember what state was that and what year. Probably 70s, I think. Um, and then she said that scientists took that sphere from the family for investigation and then I mean research, and they never returned that sphere back to the family. She talked with that family and she has a report about this, but she never show up the sphere because sphere not was there anymore. So maybe it's about the same, or I don't know, maybe it's different.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we'll be very happy to see you in Bulgaria. Paula says that you and she and Ricardo were going to come together from San Francisco 3 days earlier. I don't know if you know about this.
Well, I just do what Paula says.
Ah, okay. She has a plan to go and to visit some places in Bulgaria because Bulgaria. Have you been? You been in Europe?
Yes.
But you never been in Eastern Europe, like Bulgaria.
I've been to Czech Republic.
Czech, okay. Anyway, we have very interesting history and also stories. And I'm going, when you come, I'm going to meet you with some people and I'm going to show you some place in Bulgaria with
Okay.
some electromagnetic phenomena. It's very interesting.
Oh, cool.
They, some of the stones, there's a small stones like are rocks. I mean, not rocks. Anyway, um, like for example, there's a two stones like this, and if you stay between them for 20 minutes, if you have a high blood pressure or if you have a low blood pressure, that stones are going to fix these differences.
Wow.
Super interesting.
Yeah.
And not only that, I've done some research about the stones, and and measuring this electromagnetic waves, and very interesting.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Um, nice to talk with you again.
Thank you.